Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to have a lecture regarding the histology of the cartilage and bone. So there are two components that we're going to discuss today. Okay, the first component is the cartilage, and the second component is the bone. Okay, so now we're going to look on to look further on what are the histology of the cartilage and what is the histology of the bone. So this is the outline of my lecture. Okay, so I'm going to cover two topics here, the bones and also the cartilage. Okay, for the bones, I will cover a few number of topic here, the subtopic, okay, regarding the covering of the bones, the bone compositions, macroscopic structure of the bone, and microscopic structure of the bone. Okay, these are the subtopic that am going to cover, okay, for the today's lecture regarding the bone histology. And for the cartilage, okay, so these are the subtopic that I'm going to cover for today's lecture. Okay, the first one I'm going to cover, okay, I'm going to discuss on the regarding the cartilage covering, the perichondrium, and also I'm going to discuss the three type of cartilage that we have, the hiding cartilage, elastic cartilage, and also the fibrocartilage. Okay. Okay, so before I'm going further to discuss on the today's lecture, so I'm going to introduce to you all what actually is the bone. Okay, basically, I think you all have a lecture before you have a lecture before you attend my lecture, right? And some of the lectures might be introduced to you all regarding the bone. Okay, here I'm going to introduce to you all regarding the bonds for the from the perspective of the histological section. Okay, okay, the bone. What is the bone actually? Okay, the bone is a type of connective tissue. Okay, with calcified extracellular matrix. Okay, that is the special about the bone because the extracellular component of the bone is it is calcified, contain a calcium. Okay, so that's why the bone is hard compared to the other type of tissue because of this component. Okay, the calciums calcified. Okay, the bone also contain the vessels. It is highly vascular structure. Okay, it has a vessel. Okay, please remember the bone. It has a vessel. Although the bone is very hard structure, but it has a vessel within it. Okay, and the bone also has a central cavity. Okay, what is the central cavity? If you see here in the middle here, this is the central cavity. It is a marrow cavity that containing the bone marrow, the hematopoietic organ. Okay, the organ, the bone marrow is an organ that produces the red blood cell. Okay. Okay, so that is the introduction part of the bone. Okay, this is the bone, the long bone. Okay, so okay, I'm going to move to the next part of my lecture regarding the covering of the bone. Okay, okay, for the covering of the bone, okay, external and internal surface of the bone are covered by the membrane. Okay, please remember this. Okay, external and internal surface of the bone are covered by the membrane, and this membrane is known as a periosteum and endosteum respectively. So external covering is known as a periosteum, and the internal covering is known as a endosteum. Okay, okay, and then this covering is very important because it is essential for growth and repair. Okay, this covering is very important. It is essential for growth and repair. How this happened? Because this covering it contains a osteoprogenitor cell. That's why this covering is important for growth and repair. It can do a repair process. It also can growth. It can lead to the growth of the bone because it contains the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay. And there are two bone covering. We have the periosteum and endosteum. Okay, there are two bone covering, periosteum and endosteum. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, the periosteum it cover the external surface of the bone. The endosteum it cover the internal surface of the bone. Okay, please remember this covering, the covering of the bone, it contain the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, so I'm going to discuss further on each part of the covering, the external covering and also the internal covering. Okay, I'm going to discuss first regarding the external covering, the periosteum. Okay, the periosteum cover the external surface of the bone. Okay, please remember this statement. It cover the external surface of the bone, except there are some area that is not covered by the periosteum. Okay, where? Okay, for example here on the surface of the bone that covered by the that covered by the articular cartilage. Okay, that is the part of the bone that doesn't have a periosteum. Okay, and also at the attachment of the tendon and also ligaments. Okay, that is the exceptions. Okay, so uh, most of the part of the bone is covered by the periosteum except this area. Okay, please remember on the surface of the bone that covered by the articular cartilage and also at the attachment of the tendons and also ligament. Okay, these are the area that which is not covered by the periosteum. Okay, and the periosteum it is inserted into the bone via the Sharp's fiber. Okay, the Sharp's fiber is a collagen fiber. Okay, if you see from this picture, you can see there is a tiny thing there. There is a Sharp's fiber. So this Sharp's fiber it anchor this periosteum toward the bone. Okay, okay, you can see here. This is the periosteum. This is the layer of periosteum. Okay, okay, this is the periosteum. Okay, and then for the periosteum, it is further divided into two layers. It is consists of two layers. The outer layer, okay, the outer layer, if you see here from this picture, okay, the outer layer, this is the outer layer, and this is the inner layer. Okay, so the outer layer it is composed of the fibrous layer, and the inner layer it is composed of the cellular layer. Okay, so the outer layer is composed of the dense connective tissue, the fibrous tissue. Okay, fibrous tissue that I have shown you just now, the fibrous layer. Okay, and the inner layer it contains the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, it contains a cell. Okay, okay, that is regarding the periosteum. Okay, okay, and then we now are going to move to the next part. Okay, regarding the endosteum. Okay, for the endosteum, it line the marrow cavity and other internal cavity of the bone. Okay, so it line the any cavity that we have in the bone. Okay, okay. Then for example, here it line the marrow cavity and also other internal cavity. For example, the Hebessian canal. The Hebessian canals also covered by the endosteum. Okay, so what is the endosteum? Endosteum is a thin connective tissue that contains the osteoprogenitor cell. It's quite similar with the periosteum lah. Has a the connective tissue is thin lah. Yeah. Okay. But and it also contains the osteoprogenitor cell, like the periosteum just now. Okay. So that is the covering part of the bone. Okay. So just now I have discussed on the covering part of the bone. So we have two components. We have the periosteum and endosteum. The periosteum covered externally, endosteum it covered the internal part. Okay. Okay, so if you see from this picture, so this brown color line here, it actually it represents the periosteum. Okay. Okay. So if you see here, this is the articular cartilage, right? Okay, the articular cartilage it is not covered by the part of the bone that covered by the articular cartilage. Okay, the part of the bone that covered by the articular cartilage it is not covered by the periosteum. So you can see here there is absence of the periosteum here. Okay, okay. Okay, so this is another picture that's just to show you how the periosteum is look like. So you can see here, this is the periosteum. Okay, okay. This is the bone. Okay, the bone. Okay, so the same picture, the similar picture that I have shown you to you just now. Okay, this is the periosteum. Okay, so the periosteum, it is composed of two layers. The same thing that I have mentioned earlier. It has a fibrous layer, dense connective tissue. Okay, dense connective tissue, right? Okay, the fibrous layer, and then inner layer here, the cellular layer. It contain the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, and then we have the Sharp's fiber that anchor the periosteum toward the bone. Okay, okay, okay. That is regarding the covering part of the bone. Now we're going to move to the next part of my presentation regarding the connective tissue. Okay, for the connective tissue. Okay, uh, for the connective tissue, okay, it has two components: the cells and extracellular matrix. Okay, connective tissue. Okay, cells and extracellular matrix. From the name here, we know that it is extracellular. Okay, beyond the cell. Okay, here is cell, here is extracellular matrix. Okay, for the extracellular matrix, it is composed of two components: the ground substances and also the fibers. Okay, what is the function of ground substance? Okay, the ground substance, it resists the force of compressions. Okay, that is the function of the ground substance. Okay, for the fibers, it provides the tensile strength. Okay, that is the function of the fibers. So the extracellular matrix is composed of two components: ground substance and also the fibers. Okay, so that is the connective tissue. Okay, the component of connective tissue. It composed of cells and extracellular matrix. Okay, now come back to the bone compositions. Okay, the bone consists of two components as well. Okay, the bone also composed of two components. Okay, the cellular component and also the extracellular matrix. Okay, same like here. Okay, composed of cell and extracellular matrix. Okay, so cell. What are the component of the cell? Okay, component and the cellular component that we have in the bone. We have the osteoprogenitor cell. There are four types of cell that presents. Okay, we have the osteoprogenitor cells, we have the osteoblasts, we have the osteocyte, and also the osteoclast. So these are the four cell types that presents in the bone. Okay, these four different type of cell that presents in the bone. Okay, for the cellular component. Okay, for the extracellular matrix, it is calcified. That's why the bone is hard, hard structure. Okay, if we compare to the other organs, the bone is a hard structure because the extracellular matrix, it is calcified. It contains the calciums. Okay, now we're going to discuss further on the different type of cell that presents on the bone. Just now I mentioned earlier, there are four types of cells. Okay, the first one is an osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, okay. From the words progenitor cell here, it means the ancestor. Okay, the ancestor. Okay, so how about the shapes of the osteoprogenitor cell? Okay, for the osteoprogenitor cell, the shape is spindle shapes. So you can see here, it's a flattened, okay, spindle shapes. Okay, so where you can find this osteoprogenitor cell? So you can find the osteoprogenitor cell at the inner cellular layer of periosteum. Okay, the same area that I have showing you all just now. Okay, this is the area that you can find the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, the inner cellular layer of the periosteum. Okay, okay, the inner cellular layer of the periosteum, and also in the endosteum. So this is the area that you can find the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, what is the special about the osteoprogenitor cells? It can undergo mitotic division, so mean that it can divide itself. Okay, it can multiply and increase in number. So that is the function that is special about the osteoprogenitor cell. It can divide. Okay, and then whenever it divide, you differentiate into osteoblast. So you can see here, the osteoprogenitor cell will become an osteoblast. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next type of cell. Okay, the osteoblast. Okay, for the osteoblast, the osteoblast is it derived from the osteoprogenitor cell. And you see here how the cell is being developed from the osteoprogenitor cells, and then it becomes the osteoblast. So osteoblast is derived from the osteoprogenitor cell. So the function of the osteoblast, it secrete the matrix. Okay, it secrete the matrix, and the component of matrix, it consists of the fibers and also the ground substance. So these are the component of the matrix that's secreted by the osteoblast: fibers and also the ground substance. Okay, where you can find the osteoblast, it is located on the surface of the bone. Okay, if you see here from this picture, so you can see here, this is the bone, so it can be found on the surface of the bone. Okay. Uh, in terms of its characteristics, okay, it has a basophilic cytoplasm. Okay, basophilic means bluish cytoplasm. So you can see here, it bluish in color. Why it is it has a basophilic cytoplasm? It is due to the abundant, there are a lot of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. That's why it give the color to bluish in color. Okay. Okay, so whenever this osteoblast becomes surrounded by the matrix, they will become inactive. Okay, and then later it will become a osteocyte. So you can see here, this is the osteocyte. Whenever it is surrounded by the matrix, it become inactive, and later it will become a osteocyte. Okay, the spaces osteocyte occupy are called lacuna. Okay, so the space where the osteocyte is occupied, it is known as a lacuna. Okay. So you can see the same picture that I have shown you just now. Okay, the osteoblast, okay, basophilic in color because of due to the abundance of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, you can see here the osteoblast is located on the surface of the bone. Okay, and then now I'm going to move to the next type of the cell, the osteocyte. Okay, so for the osteocyte, it is a mature bone cell. Okay, it is a mature type of bone cell. It is located in the lacuna. Okay, it is present inside the lacuna. So this is the inside here in the lacuna we have the osteocyte. It is located within the lacuna and surrounded by the calcified bony matrix. So around this lacuna, okay, around this lacuna we have a calcified bony matrix. Okay. Okay, within this lacuna, we have the osteocyte. Okay, so mean that the osteocyte is surrounded by the calcified bony matrix. Okay, and then there is a tiny canal. Okay, the tiny canal, you see here, the tiny canal here. Okay, that come out or projected from the that radiate. Okay, radiate or projected that come out in all directions. Okay, from the lacuna. Okay, there is a tiny tunnel, and this tiny canal or tunnel, it is known as a canaliculi. Okay, canaliculi. Okay. So what is the content of this? What are the content of this canaliculi? Contain the cytoplasmic. Okay, cytoplasmic. If you see here, this is the cellular process, the cytoplasmic process of the osteocyte. Okay, that is the content of the canaliculi. Okay, so the osteocyte, it contact each other via the cytoplasmic process. If you see here, uh, the osteocyte, okay, it contact each other via this cellular process, okay, via the cytoplasmic processes. Or okay, cytoplasmic process. Okay, okay. Uh, okay. Other than cytoplasmic process, the canaliculi also contain the extracellular fluid. Okay, it also contains the extracellular fluid that contain the nutrient for the osteocyte. So these are the two components of the canaliculi. It contain the cytoplasmic process and also the extracellular fluid. Okay, they contain the nutrient for the osteocyte. Okay. 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 This is just to show you the picture how the bone is the cell is changed from the osteoprogenitor cell, okay, and then it become an osteoblast, okay, and then it become an osteocyte. Okay, the osteoprogenitor cell will develop into the osteoblast. Okay, and this osteoblast will form the matrix of the bone tissue. Okay, and some of the osteoblasts will differentiate into the osteocyte lah. Okay, and the function of the osteocyte is to maintain the matrix of the bone tissue. Okay, so you can see here, this is the osteoblast on the surface of the bone, and osteocyte is located within the lacuna. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, for the osteoclast, okay, if you see here, this is the osteoclast. Okay, this is the osteoclast. It's very easy to differentiate between these four different types of cell. Okay, for the osteoclast, it is a large, okay, very large and multi-nucleated cell. So you can see here it composed of more than one, more than two, more than three, okay, more than one nucleus. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, so it is more than one nucleus. So that is the characteristic, special characteristic of the osteoclast. Okay, the cytoplasm is exodophilic, okay, pinkish in color, okay, pinkish. And the function of the osteoclast is to resorb the bone tissue, okay, resorb the bone tissue. Okay, where you can find the osteoclast, it is located at the site where the bone is being remodeled, okay, and the bone is being remodeled or being removed, okay. If there is area of the bone injury, so you can find the osteoclast, okay. So it try to remove the bone, okay, bony part that is need to be repaired lah, okay. Where the bone is being damaged, okay. That is the site that you can find the osteoclast, okay. It remove the part of the bone that is being damaged, okay, and it try to remodel that part again, okay. And then the osteoclast, it sit in a shallow depression. You can see here it sit in the shallow depression here, in shallow depression. Okay, and this depression is known as a house shaped lacuna. Okay, house shaped lacuna. Okay, a special name with the big capital H here. Okay, house shaped with house shaped lacuna. Okay, the region of the bone resorptions. Okay, so this table just to show you the difference between the three type of cell. Okay, so if you see here, the osteoblast is secrete. The function is to secrete matrix. Okay, the matrix is composed of fibers and ground substance. And for the osteoclast, it secrete the substance for the bone maintenance. It's more on the bone maintenance. Okay. Okay, and then for the osteoclast, it resorb the bone tissue. If there is a damage on the area, so it will resorb the bone tissue. Okay, try to remove the part, the part of the bone that is damaged. Okay, and then it will remodel again. Okay, and then the shape for the osteoblast is a cuboidal in shape. The osteocyte, it is a small oval in shape, and there is the presence of the many cytoplasmic processes. Okay, if you find there is a lot of cytoplasmic process, mean that it is actually belong to the osteocyte. And for the osteoclast, it is a large irregular giant cell, irregular cells, okay, irregular shaped cells, and giant is very large, huge size. And for cytoplasm, okay, osteoblast is basophilic in color, bluish in color. The osteocyte, it is less basophilic cytoplasm. For the osteoclast, it is acidophilic, more in pinkish in color. Okay, osteoblast, it has a single round nucleus. Osteocyte, it is single and flattened nucleus, and for the osteoclast, it has many nuclei, more than one nuclei. Okay, so that is the way you differentiate between the osteoblast, osteocyte, and osteoclast. It's very simple. It's very easy to differentiate all of them. Okay, and then for the locations, so for the osteoblast, it can be found in the surface of the bone, and osteocyte, it present inside the lacuna, surrounded by the calcified bony matrix. And for the osteoclast, it is found on the surface of the bone in the house-shaped lacuna. Okay, and the origin of the osteoblast, it is derived from the osteoprogenitor cell. Okay, the osteocyte, it derived from the osteoblast, and for the osteoclast, it is derived from the homobiotic progenitor cell. Okay. Okay. Okay, for the extracellular matrix component, okay, just now we discussed on the cellular component of the bone. Now we're going to discuss further on the extracellular matrix component of the bone. Okay, for the fibers, it is composed of type 1 collagen fibers. It gives rise to the color, it gives the color to the bone, the acidophilic color, acidophilic matrix, okay, the pinkish color, due to the presence of the type 1 collagen fiber. Okay, and the extracellular matrix also contain the ground substance. Okay, and the last component for the extracellular matrix is an inorganic component. Okay, inorganic component. There are two components here: the calcium and phosphorus, in the form of the hydroxy epithet crystal. Okay, calcium and phosphorus. Okay, so the extracellular matrix composed of these three components: fibers, ground substance, and also inorganic component. Okay, this inorganic component, the calcium and phosphorus, give a hard characteristic of the bone. Okay. Okay, for the microscopic structure of the bone, macroscopically, the bone consists of the two type. Okay, microscopically lah, it's composed of two type. Okay, compact bone and spongy bone. Okay, compact bond is a dense bond. Usually it's located on the outside surface of the bond. And for the spongy bond or cancellous bond, it is made up of the bond intranuclear. It forms the interior part of the bond. Okay, so we have the compact bond and spongy bond. Okay, macroscopically. Okay. Okay, if you see here, this is the outer compact bond. The outer part is usually it is made up of compact bond, and the inner part here it is composed of the inner spongy bond. Okay. Okay. Okay, that is a macroscopic. Now I'm going to discuss on the microscopic structure of the bond. Okay, for compact bond and also the spongy bond. Okay, okay, for the compact bond is composed of a thin layer of bond matrix. Okay, compact bond is composed of thin layer of bond matrix, and this layer, the thin layer, it is known as lamellae, lamella, or lamellae. Okay, it has a multiple layer bond matrix. Okay, lamella. Okay, the osteocyte is located within the lacuna, and it is found between the lamella. Okay, and there are three system. Okay, there are three system or set of the body lamella. Okay, the four body lamella system are the outer circumferential lamella, the inner circumferential lamella, and outer and inner circumferential. Outer and inner circumferential lamella is considered as one system lah. Okay, just look, the location is different, outer and inner. And then we have the Herbartian system, or also known as osteon, and the last one is the interstitial lamella. Okay, for the outer circumferential lamella, it is located just beneath the periosteum. Okay, that is the outer circumferential lamella. If you see from this picture, so this is the outer circumferential lamella. Okay, try to imagine lah. Here, outer part here, we have the periosteum that cover the bond. Okay, and then here we have the outer circumferential lamella. Okay, and it's located just beneath the periosteum. Okay, okay. So try to imagine that outer here we have the periosteum. Okay, this is the outer circumferential lamella. It is the outermost layer of compact bond. Okay, it is outermost layer of compact bond. Okay. The outer circumferential lamella contain the Sharp's fiber that anchor the periosteum to the bond. I think I have shown you the Sharp's fiber just now. So this outer circumferential lamella contain fiber that anchor the periosteum to the bond. The outer circumferential lamella, it has more lamella compared to the inner lamella, inner circumferential lamella. Okay, and then for the inner circumferential lamella, okay, it lies adjacent to the endosteum. Okay, so this is the inner circumferential lamella. Okay, the inner circumferential lamella. It lies adjacent to the endosteum. Okay, and then between the outer and also the inner circumferential lamella, there are numerous Herbartian system. If you see here, this is the Herbartian system. Herbartian system, also known as the osteon. And also there is a presence of the interstitial lamella. Okay, if you see here, this is the interstitial lamella between the Herbartian system. Okay, between the osteon. Okay, there is the okay. These are the two circumferential lamella that I want to highlight here. The outer circumferential lamella and also the inner circumferential lamella. Okay. Okay, how about the Herbartian system? Okay, Herbartian system also known as the osteon. Okay. Throughout the life, there is a continuous destruction and rebuilding of the Herbartian system. So it means that the bond is a dynamic process, it's not static. So there is a continuous destruction and rebuilding of the Herbartian system. Okay. So each system consists of the each system of the Herbartian system or osteon consists of the Herbartian canal. Okay, if you see here, so this is the inside here we have the Herbartian canal. This is the Herbartian system. Each system here consists of the Herbartian canal. Okay. The canal is lined by the endosteum. And what are the structure that present inside the canal? So we have the blood vessels, okay, the arteries with the capillary, okay, the vein, and also the nerve fiber. So these are the content present. There is the structure that present inside the Herbartian canal. Okay, and the Herbartian canal it communicate with other Herbartian canal, okay, and periosteum, and the marrow cavity via Boxman canal. Okay, we have another canal here. If you see here, the transverse canal, this is the transverse canal. This is the Boxman canal. Okay, and the transverse canal, which is also known as a this transverse canal is known as a Boxman canal. Boxman canal. It is known as a Boxman with a V, big capital letter V, Boxman canal. So the Hebration canal, this is the Hebration canal, this is another Hebration canal. So this Hebration canal, it is communicate with the others one via the Boxman canal. Okay, the transverse canal here. Okay. Okay. For the concentric lamella of the bone. Okay. So this is the part of the Hebration system. The first part is consists of the canal itself, and the second part is the concentric lamella. Okay, you can see here the concentric lamella that surround the Hebration canal. Okay, the first layer, second layer, the third layer. Okay, just concentric lamella. Okay, surround the Hebration canal, form the cylinder. Okay. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, this is the one Hebration system. Okay, Hebration system. So we have the Hebration canal here, and we have the lamella. Okay, the concentric lamella. Okay, the concentric lamella. Okay, this is the Hebration canal. Okay, this is the concentric lamella, and the osteocyte is present inside the lacuna here. Okay, the cell. Okay, the osteocyte is present inside the lacuna. Okay, so yeah. From this picture, you also can see the outer circumferential lamina. You can see here, this is the outer circumferential lamina, and this is the inner circumferential lamina. Okay, this is the Hebration system or osteon, and then in between we have the interstitial lamella in between. Okay, and then the other thing that you also can see here, this is the this is the internal part of the bone. We have the marrow cavity, and then we have this is the spongy bone, the cancellous bone. Okay, here in the here this is the part of the yellow color. The whole part here here actually it represent the compact bone. Okay. Okay. Okay, these are the system the bony lamella system that present in the compact bond. Okay, compact bond. Okay, okay, okay. Present here lah. Okay, the compact bond. Okay, the Hebration system, the osteon. So you can see here, this is the osteon. Okay, the Hebration system. Okay, the other name for Hebration system is a osteon. Okay, and then in the middle here we have the Hebration canal, and then we have the concentric lamella. Okay, and then we have the lacuna here. Inside the lacuna we have the osteocyte. Okay, and then just to show you another picture of the Hebration system. Okay, the osteon. Okay, and then we have in the middle here we have the Hebration canal, and then the Hebration system, and then we have the lacuna here. Inside the lacuna we have the osteocyte. Okay. Okay, this is the circumferential lamella, outer circumferential lamella. You can see here, this is the part of the outer circumferential lamella. Okay. Okay, and then just to show you another picture of Hebration system. Okay, we have the Hebration canal in the middle here, and then we have the canaliculi. Okay, canaliculi. Okay, it contain the uh, the the cytoplasmic process of the osteocytes now. Okay, the cytoplasmic process of the osteocyte. Okay, the canaliculi. And then the osteocyte is located within the lacuna. Okay. How about the interstitial lamella? Okay, for the interstitial lamella, it is located in between the Hebration system. Okay, how the interstitial is being formed? Okay, the interstitial lamella actually is the remnant of the earlier Hebration system. Okay, so you can see here from the first generation to second generation to the third generation. Okay, okay, this is the first generation of Hebration system. Whenever the second generation of the Hebration system is being developed, so it will leave behind the lamella there. Okay, so this lamella will become a interstitial lamella. Okay, and then you can see that this is the third generation. It will leave behind the remaining lamella part here. It will form the interstitial lamella. Okay, and usually this happen throughout the remodeling process. Okay, the intermediate or interstitial lamella. Intermediate or interstitial lamella. So you can see here, this is the interstitial lamella located between the Hebration system. Okay, between the osteon. Okay, you can see here, this is the Boxman canal. Okay, the Boxman canal is connected to each other by the, sorry, this is the Haversian canal. Sorry. I would like to correct here. Okay, this is the Haversian canal. Sorry, this is the the longitudinal canal here. It is a Haversian canal. Okay, this is the Haversian canal. This is the Haversian canal. Okay, the Haversian canal, it is connected to each other by the Boxman canal. Okay, this is the Boxman canal. So you can see here, the transverse canal here, it is a Boxman canal. This is the Haversian canal. Okay, the longitudinal, this is the transverse canal, the Boxman canal. Okay, okay. So I would like to repeat back, okay, and then I want to correct here. Okay, the longitudinal canal here, this is the Haversian canal. Okay, this is the Haversian canal, and it is connected to each other by the transverse canal here, the Boxman canal. Okay, okay, okay. That is regarding the canal. Okay, the compact bond, human ground, understand? Okay, you can see here, this is the Haversian system. Okay, in between them we have the interstitial lamella. Okay. So here in the middle we have the Haversian canal, and then we have the canaliculi. It contains the the cytoplasmic process of the osteocyte. Okay, and then the osteocyte is located present inside the lacuna. Okay, okay. How about the spongy bond? Okay, spongy bond is similar in structure to the compact bond. Okay, similar in structure to the compact bond. Bond metric is lamellated. Bond metric also lamellated. Usually you can find the Haversian system presence in the thick trabeculae. Okay, if the trabeculae is thick, so you can find the Haversian system. Okay, uh, externally it is covered by externally the spongy bone is covered by the endosteum. Okay, so this is the trabeculae of the spongy bone. Okay, so this trabeculae spongy bone is covered by the endosteum. Sometimes in the thick trabeculae you can find the Haversian system lah. So you can see here, this is the thick trabeculae. You can find the Haversian system, the osteon. Okay. Okay, that is regarding the bone. Now we're going to move to the cartilage. Okay, for the cartilage part, okay, cartilage also a type of connective tissue, like the bone. Okay, cartilage is a type of connective tissue. Okay, so for the cartilage, it consists of the cellular component and also the extracellular component. Okay, similar like bonds now, it composed of two components, cellular component and also the extracellular component, extracellular matrix. Okay, for the cellular component, it is composed of the cell, and this cell is known as a chondrocyte. Okay, and the chondrocyte it produces the matrix. Okay, for the extracellular matrix, it actually it forms the 90% of the cartilage volume. For the extracellular matrix component of the cartilage. Okay, it composed of the ground substance. Okay, the ground substance it comprises of the protoglycans and aggregate. Okay, and then it also has a fibers, and the fibers it composed of collagen and elastic fibers. Okay, the most important thing that you need to remember is cartilage is an avascular tissue. Avascular means it does not have a vessel. Okay, it does not have a vessel. So cartilage has a limited ability for repair and regeneration because it does not have a vessel. Okay, so that is the problem with the cartilage because it does not have a vessel. So that's why it has a limited ability for repair and also regenerations. Okay, protoglycan aggregate in the extracellular matrix. Okay, this is the most important thing. Okay, the protoglycans aggregate in the extracellular matrix. It allows diffusions of nutrient through the extracellular matrix from the blood vessels in the surrounding pericardium. So this protoglycan aggregate it play a very vital role, very important functions here. Okay, it allows diffusion of nutrient through the extracellular matrix from the blood vessels into the surrounding pericardium, in the surrounding pericardium. Okay, from the blood vessel in the from the blood vessel in surrounding pericardium. Okay, allow diffusion of nutrient okay through the extracellular matrix from the blood vessel in surrounding pericardium. So in surrounding pericardium. Okay. 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 The next one. Okay, now we're going to discuss on the perichondrium. Okay, if you see here from the name itself, perichondrium is quite similar with the periosteum, right? Perichondrium, periosteum. But here is perichondrium. Okay, it refers to the cartilage. Okay, perichondrium. So here, the most important statement that you all need to remember is all cartilage covered by the perichondrium. Okay, all cartilage covered by the perichondrium, except articular cartilage, okay, epiphysis, and also the fibrocartilage. Okay, so these are the cartilage that is not covered by the perichondrium. Okay, articular cartilage, epiphysis, and also the fibrocartilage. Okay, perichondrium, it consists of the connective tissue. Okay, it is a vascular structure. Okay, perichondrium is a vascular structure, and it supply nutrient to the cell of the cartilage. Okay, it supply nutrient to the cell of cartilage. Okay, the perichondrium, it also has two layers like the periosteum. Okay, it has two layers like periosteum. Okay, the perichondrium, it has two layers. Okay, the perichondrium, it has two layers, similar like a periosteum. Okay, it has the outer fibrous layer. Okay, and the outer fibrous layer contain the fibroblasts, collagen fibers, and also the blood vessels. Okay, and then for the inner cellular layer, it contains the chondrogenic cell. Okay, so it has two layers: the perichondrium, outer fibrous layer, and inner cellular layer. Okay, there are three types of cartilage that I have mentioned just now. They are hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and fibrocartilage. So if you see from first picture here, it shows the hyaline cartilage. And then the second picture here, it shows the elastic cartilage. And the last picture here, it shows the fibrocartilage. Okay. Okay, now we're going to discuss one by one the different type of the cartilage. Okay, for the hyaline cartilage, it is a most abundant cartilage in the body. Okay, okay, the hyaline cartilage, please remember, it is the most abundant cartilage in the body. Okay, where you can find this hyaline cartilage? Okay, it is located in the nasal septum, the trachea, costal cartilage, most of the articular surfaces, and epitaxial plate of the groin bone. So these are the area that you can find the hyaline cartilage. Okay, the hyaline cartilage, the characteristic of the hyaline cartilage, okay, it has a homogeneous basophilic matrix. Okay, the matrix is bluish in color and homogeneous. Okay, similar, almost similar in color lah. Okay, homogeneous basophilic matrix. Okay, it contain type 2 collagen fiber. Okay, it contain type 2 collagen fiber. Okay, fiber, and the chondrocyte. Okay, the chondrocyte is located within the lacuna. Okay, the chondrocyte is located within the lacuna. And in matrix, the chondrites are present in whether it's in the singular form or in groups. Okay, in the group can be in the form of the isogenous group. Okay, so you can see here, this is the hyaline cartilage that you can find in the trachea. Okay, whenever you enlarge the size here, you can see here, this is the hyaline cartilage. Okay, so you can see here, the matrix is a bluish in color, right? Okay, homogeneous basophilic matrix. Okay, okay. So here you can see here, this is the layer of the perichondrium. Okay, the perichondrium. Okay, this is the hyaline cartilage. Okay. Okay, for the hyaline cartilage, its matrix is divided into two regions. Okay, the matrix of the hyaline cartilage is divided into two regions based of the standing property of the matrix. Okay, the matrix can be divided into two: the territorial matrix and also the interterritorial matrix. Okay, for the territorial matrix, if you see here, this is the territorial matrix. The darker color area here, the matrix here, it is known as a territorial matrix. It is surrounding the each lacuna. So this is the lacuna. Inside here we have the chondrocyte. Okay, inside here we have the chondrocyte, right? Okay, the chondrocyte. Okay, so the territorial matrix is more basically, okay, darker in color, more bluish in color. Okay, stand darker. Okay, compared to the interterritorial. So this is the interterritorial. It is more lighter in color. Okay, so the remaining part, the remaining part of the matrix is known as the interterritorial matrix. The interterritorial matrix surround the territorial matrix. Okay, usually the color is pale standing lah, so it's very easy to differentiate Okay, which part is belong to the territorial, which part that belong to the interterritorial metric. Okay, this one is this part is paler in color, this one is darker in color. This part definitely is actually belong to the territorial metric, and this is the interterritorial metric. Okay, and then you can see here, this is the group of the chondrocyte present inside the lacuna. So this is the isogenous group lah. Okay. Okay, for the elastic cartilage, okay, similar to the hyaline cartilage, similar to hyaline cartilage, except it contain the elastic fiber. So elastic cartilage is quite similar with the hyaline cartilage, but the one exception here, the special characteristic of the elastic cartilage, it contain the elastic fiber. That is the difference between the elastic and also the hyaline cartilage. It contain the elastic cartilage, it contain the elastic fiber. So from the name itself, we know that it contain the elastic fiber, elastic cartilage. Give the name of this cartilage, elastic cartilage. Okay, and it also contains the type 2 collagen. Okay, type 2 collagen. So where you can find this elastic cartilage? Okay, the elastic cartilage can be found in the ear pinna, okay, eustachian tube, and also the epiglottis. So just remember this 3E. Okay, 3E. So whenever you remember this 3E, you know where is the location of the elastic cartilage. Okay. For the elastic cartilage, it's more and larger chondrocyte compared to the hyaline cartilage. Okay, the chondrocyte, it is more, the number is more and larger in size. So you can see here, the size is larger, okay, compared to the hyaline cartilage. And elastic fiber in the territorial metric, so elastic fiber in the territorial metric is larger than those in the interterritorial metric. So you can see here the interterritorial metric, the elastic fiber is smaller compared to the elastic fiber in the territorial metric. So that's why the color is more darker here in the territorial metric. Okay, the elastic fiber. Okay, so this is another picture just to show you the elastic fiber, elastic cartilage. Okay, with the deep purple stain for elastin. So you can see here. So it is more obvious the elastic fiber. Okay, so you can see here the elastic fiber. It is more thicker. Okay, larger in size at the territorial metric compared to the interterritorial metric. Okay. Okay. The territorial metric it surround the area of lacuna lah. Okay, you can see here the darker color, right? The darker color, the elastic fiber, more darker color. So the elastic fiber is larger in size lah, compared to the interterritorial metric elastic fiber. Okay, so this is the epiglottis. So you can, whenever you enlarge the size here, you can see here. Okay, this is the lacuna. Inside here we have the chondrocyte, and then we have the elastic fiber here. You can see here, this is the elastic fiber. Okay. So that is the special about the elastic cartilage contain the elastic fiber. Okay. And then how about the fibrocartilage? Okay, the fibrocartilage, it is characterized by the presence of dense bundle of collagen fiber. So this is the dense, okay, dense bundle of the collagen fiber. Okay, and then there's the special characteristic of this fibrocartilage. Its chondrocyte is it arranged in a row. Okay, you can see here in a row, one row, single row like this. Okay, another row, and another row. Okay, and located between this row is a collagen bundle. Okay, this is the collagen bundle. Okay, so one row and then we have the collagen bundle lah, okay, collagen fiber. Okay, okay, and then the other thing that you have to remember, okay, regarding the fibrocartilage, it does not have a perichondrium. Okay, fibrocartilage does not have a perichondrium. So and then where you can find this fibrocartilage? You can find the fibrocartilage at the intervertebral disc and also the pubic symphysis. That is the area that you can find the fibrocartilage. Okay. Okay, just to show you another picture of the fibrocartilage of the intervertebral disc. Okay, you can see the chondrocyte there. Okay, this is the collagen bundle. Okay, collagen bundle, collagen fiber. Okay. Okay, and this table just to show you the difference between the three different types of cartilage: the hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and fibrocartilage. Okay, for the hyaline cartilage, the metric is homogeneous basophilic color metric. Okay, the bluish color, homogeneous. And elastic cartilage, there is an elastic fiber in the matrix lah. Okay, it's non-homogeneous. Okay, different color lah, non-homogeneous. Okay, it's not similar lah, because there is a presence of the elastic fiber lah in the matrix. And then for the fibrocartilage, the acidophilic matrix lah, the pinkish matrix. Okay, right? Okay, pinkish. Okay, acidophilic matrix. And the chondrocyte for the hyaline cartilage usually arranged in groups, the same thing like elastic cartilage, also arranged in the groups. But for the fibrocartilage, it arranged in a row between the collagen bundle. Okay, fiber for the hyaline cartilage, type 2 collagen fiber, elastic type 2 collagen fiber, and elastic fiber. Okay, we have the additional part here, elastic fiber lah for the elastic cartilage. And then the fibrocartilage is then bundle of type 1 collagen fiber. Okay, the location, hyaline cartilage can be found in the trachea, costal cartilage, and most of the articular surfaces. For the elastic cartilage, it can be found in the ear pinna, eustachian tube, and epiglottis. And then the fibrocartilage, it can be found in the intervertebral disc and also the pubic symphysis. And for the hyaline cartilage, okay, perichondrium present. It presents except at the articular cartilage and also epiphysis. Okay, except. Okay. The hyaline cartilage, it has a perichondrium except, okay, hyaline cartilage, it has a perichondrium except at the articular cartilage and epiphysis. Okay, please remember, I repeat back, the hyaline cartilage, it has a perichondrium except at the articular cartilage and also epiphysis. For the elastic cartilage, okay, the perichondrium also present, but for the fibrocartilage, the perichondrium is absent. Okay, please remember that one. Okay, now we're going to move to the next one. Okay, how the cartilage is grow. Okay, the cartilage also grow. It's growing. Okay, it's not static. Okay, it grow. Okay, so the cartilage can grow by two different processes. Okay, either through an interstitial growth or oppositional growth. Okay, for the interstitial growth, this is how happen. This is what happened actually. Sorry, this is what happened. Okay, for the interstitial growth. Okay, a chondrocyte in the lacuna will divide undergo mitosis lah. The chondrocyte in the lacuna will divide undergo mitosis, forming more chondrocyte in the lacuna. So mean that this chondrocyte will divide further, and then it will create another more chondrocyte lah. More chondrocyte in the lacuna, and then it will form the isogenous group lah. Okay, the chondrocyte in the lacuna will produce matrix. So the individual chondrocyte in the lacuna will produce matrix, and it will push away from each other. So it will become distant away to each other lah. Okay, the distance between the chondrocyte will become more whenever it produces matrix lah. It push away lah from each other due to the presence of the new matrix here. Okay, and then it will form the separate lacuna lah. And the process that form the new cartilage within the existing cartilage, it is actually growth from within lah. Growth from within. Okay, process that form the new cartilage within the existing cartilage. Okay, growth from within. Okay, so mean that there is an existing cartilage, and then form a new cartilage that form the existing cartilage. Okay, the growth actually is from within. Okay, and usually this interstitial growth it occur in the epiphyseal pad. Okay, because the epiphyseal pad doesn't have perichondrium. It does not have a perichondrium, so it needs to have this kind of growth lah, interstitial growth. Okay, so interstitial growth usually happen in the epiphyseal pad. Okay, for the appositional growth, okay, the how it is happen. Okay, it's happen like this. Okay, the chondrogenic cell in the inner layer of the perichondrium. Okay, it will undergo mitosis. It will divide and differentiate into chondroblasts. Okay, and this chondroblasts will secrete the matrix. Okay. So this is a process that form a new cartilage at the surface of existing cartilage. Okay, this one is form new cartilage within the existing cartilage, but this one is form a new cartilage at the surface. This one is within. This one at the surface. Okay, so I mean that this is growth from outside. Okay, the oppositional growth. Okay, please remember the difference between the interstitial growth and also the oppositional growth. Okay, so you can see here initially it doesn't have any exogenous group of the chondrocyte here, but suddenly it appear here because of the chondrocyte, it multiply, right, divide, and then it produce matrix, and then it push further away of the chondrocyte, and then it form another groups. Okay, so this is the growth from within. Growth from within. Okay, the interstitial growth. Okay. Okay, now we're going to discuss regarding the ossification. Okay, this is a different topic lah. Okay, the one is regarding the previously we discussed on the growth of the cartilage. Now we're going to discuss on the ossification. Okay, there are two types of ossification. Okay, the intramembranous ossification and endochondral ossification. Okay, okay, for the intramembranous ossification, intramembrane, okay, intramembrane mean that the ossification is developed from the membrane. Okay, intramembranous. Okay, intramembranous. Okay, intramembranous ossification, it produces most of the flat bond. So mean that the flat bond is actually originated from this type of ossification, intramembranous ossification. Okay, it occurs within the condensation of the embryonic mesenchymal tissue. Okay, so mean that initially there is a mesenchymal tissue, and then later it become bone. Okay? It will be converted into the bone. Okay, so that's how actually the intramembranous ossification happen. Initially it's a mesenchymal tissue, and then later it will be converted into the bone. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, yeah, you can see here. This is the mesenchymal tissue. It will be condensed, and then it will be converted into the bone. You can see here. This is the bone. Okay, bone. B is bone. Okay, O is osteoblast lah, on the surface of the bone. Okay. Okay, for the endochondral ossification, it is ossification that take place within a piece of hyaline cartilage. Okay, within a piece of hyaline cartilage. Okay, for the endochondral ossification, it is responsible for the formation of the short and also the long bone. So endochondral ossification, it specifically happen at the short and also the long bone. Intramembranous, flat bone. Endochondral ossification, short and long bone. So this ossification takes place within a piece of hyaline cartilage. Okay, within a piece of the hyaline cartilage. Okay, so this is the way the endochondral ossifications happen. Okay, okay. Endochondral ossifications happen like this. Okay, so the epiphyseal plate. Okay, epiphyseal plate. This is the epiphyseal plate. Epiphyseal plate divided into 5 zones. Okay, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and zone 4, and zone 5. Okay, zone 1 is the first zone. Okay, the zone of resting cartilage. Okay, so what happened here at the zone of resting cartilage? Okay, at the resting zone, it consists of the hyaline cartilage with a typical chondrocyte. So you can see here, this zone is resting. That means that you can find the typical type or a typical type of the typical chondrocyte. Typical chondrocyte can be found at the zone 1. It's a hyaline cartilage, consists of hyaline cartilage of the typical with the typical chondrocyte. Okay, with the typical chondrocyte. Okay, so mean that the bone is developed from the cartilage. Okay, that is the meaning of this endochondral ossification. Okay, the bone is developed from the cartilage. Okay, and then we move to the next zone. Okay, zone number 2. Okay, zone of the proliferating cartilage. So you can see here what happened. The chondrocyte begin to divide. So it divide rapidly, increase in number, okay, and form the column of stack of cell. Okay, you can see here, column stack of cell. Okay, it become packed to each other. Column, this is one column. Okay, in the row like this. Okay, okay, and then it divide rapidly, form a column of stack of cell parallel to long axis of the bone. So this is the long axis of the bone. Okay, parallel to the long axis of the bone. Okay. And then after that, when it moved to the zone 3, zone of the hypertrophic cartilage. Okay, so here what happened? Okay, it contained the swollen chondrocyte. The chondrocyte is increased in size, swollen, becomes swollen. Okay, where the cytoplasm the cytoplasm is accumulated with the glycogen. Okay, glycogen. That's why it becomes swollen, because the cytoplasm of the chondrocyte is accumulated with the glycogen. Okay. Hypertrophy compress the matrix into a thin septum. So you can see here, whenever it increases in size, it will compress the matrix into a thin septum lah. Okay, between the chondrocyte. Okay, and then later it will move to the zone number 4. Zone number 4 is the zone of calcified cartilage. Okay, the chondrocyte will die lah. Start to die. Okay, through the apoptosis. Okay, and then whenever it die, it will followed by the calcification of the septum lah. Okay, the septum, the septum that produced by the compression of the matrix here. Is all right. And the thin septum, the thin septum will be calcified lah. Okay, this will be accompanied by the calcification of the septum of cartilage lah, by the formation of the hydroxy epithelial crystal. Okay. Okay. And then zone number 5, zone of ossification. And then later bone tissue first to appear at the zone number 5, zone of ossification. Bone tissue start to appear. Okay, so this is how actually the endochondral ossification. Okay, and the endochondral ossification means that the bone is being developed through the cartilage. Okay, okay, that's all from me. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Okay, see you all later. Thank you.